Today, we push the limits of Super Mario 3D World modding by making the World 1 castle level backwards, and we play the level from start to finish, or finish to start maybe. I'll show you what problems came up from trying to make these changes, and we'll try to collect as many green stars as possible. Let's put the goal flag and the fairy where the start of the level normally is. This will be our objective. Mario will start where the goal flag normally is, and we have to make our way back to the start of the level. Since everything is backwards, this is the end of the video, and thank you for watching. When you first enter the level, this cutscene of Mario entering the castle plays just like normal. Mario goes into the door closes behind Mario. But after this cutscene completes, Mario will start where the end of the level normally is, and there's no flag here. We'll get to the Bowser fight in a moment, but first things first, or I guess last things first, there's normally a destination warp box that brings you here after you beat Bowser. We need to add a warp box here that brings us to Bowser, since we haven't beaten Bowser yet because we just entered the level. So let's head into this new warp box that I just added here. And we are now at the end of the highway, but there's no Bowser around, and no Bowser spawns here. There's an invisible wall here that prevents us from going back to earlier in the level, and it doesn't look like there's a way around it, so we're going to have to change something. Let's instead make this warp box bring us straight to Bowser instead of the end of the highway. Let's just test this out to make sure the fight works normally before trying to make the Bowser fight backwards. So far, this looks promising. The cutscene plays out normally. The purple car drives along the bridge, we see Bowser appear, Bowser lets out a big roar, but Mario is invisible. Where is Mario? All I can see are little dust particles when Mario speeds up or when he does ground pounds. Bowser throws his exploding soccer balls at me, but I can't hit them back at Bowser. I follow Bowser along the level, and it looks like Mario can't interact with anything while Mario is invisible like this. Bowser jumps up to the next section of the highway, and a warp box to follow him spawns. But you can't get into this warp box while you're invisible. So we have two problems right now. First of all, Mario is invisible, and second of all, Bowser isn't going backwards. Let's try to fix both of these problems. Here's what happens when we go into the warp box and load up this cutscene. This looks different to me for some reason. Bowser's car looks weird here. Oh look, it's clipping through parts of the ground. Okay, so it looks like Bowser is going backwards, which is good. Oh, wait, where's he going? He's moving quickly! And where's Mario? Bowser went backwards, but Mario is still invisible, and we have another invisible wall here, so we can't follow Bowser back this way. Eventually, I made Mario not invisible during the Bowser fight, and I wanted to test out if the warp boxes would work after beating Bowser. We get the final hit on Bowser, congratulatory music plays, coins spawn, but there's no warp box that appears. Amazing! We can't continue back because of the invisible wall, but can we make it back to the castle with a long jump from here? It looks like it is way too far, unfortunately. So what we want to do in Spotlight is make sure that all of the links between warp boxes and Bowser and everything works correctly so that a warp box spawns after we beat Bowser. I wanted to put a destination box nearby just to make sure that it's working as intended, and it looks like we should now be able to continue because everything is working as we want it to. So now all that is left to do before we can get to the rest of the level is let's beat Bowser again, let's spawn the warp box again, let's hop into this warp box, we'll get warped over and... oh. Look, there's no floor appearing here. The game normally loads the ending castle part of the map when you go into that warp box after you beat Bowser, and it unloads this earlier part, so there isn't too much that the game has to keep loaded all at once. That's why we just fall when we take this warp box, because this part of the level isn't being loaded. Making the beginning part of the level stay loaded after beating Bowser was the most difficult part of this for me, and I had to test this out many times, falling many times onto nothing while taking this warp box after beating Bowser. But on the plus side, I got really fast at defeating Bowser. Eventually, I was able to load the level, and I made it possible to land on the earlier ground instead of having Mario immediately fall to his death after taking this warp box. I wanted to make it to the end of the level just to test out that everything is okay before we continue, and oh my goodness, where is the flag? The flag is not here. Why is the flag not appearing? Okay, now, everything should be good to go. We start at the end of the level, we make our way back to the warp box that is going to take us to Bowser, and it is time for a backwards Bowser fight. I got really used to facing Bowser the normal way, so I'm struggling to avoid the fire here, and it's really difficult to hit the exploding soccer balls back at Bowser using the right angle. A lot of my soccer attacks end up missing, and I'm even running into fire and taking damage because of the strange camera angles from facing Bowser like this. I'm struggling so much with facing Bowser with the camera backwards that he jumps up and I have to use this warp box to follow him. That's how we know that this is a slow fight, if I have to resort to using the warp box to follow him up there. I have to be careful to not die here. I really have to play this safe. As Little Mario, it takes only one more hit or one more fireball and I'm finished. But eventually, I see an opening. It's just like Mario as Ronaldinho right now. I take advantage of the opportunity, and I'm able to take out this Bowser with the exploding soccer ball. Our victory music starts to play. I swapped to an uncompleted file because I switched the IDs on the green stars to be backwards, since the level is backwards. For some reason, these platforms here weren't moving, so I just long jumped across them. I take out this little troublesome Goomba stack here with a ground pound. The green star on top of this larger Goomba stack is normally meant to be green star number 3, but since the level is backwards, this is the first green star we get, so I made this one the first green star, as you can see up here in the top left corner. I managed to yoink the green star away from them, so I'll spare this large Goomba stack this time. We continue along the level, the exploding soccer balls are being shot out just like normal, the thwomps are moving along like normal, and I head on over to these brick blocks so that we could get a cat bell. I climb up this wall, and this is where green star number 2 is. We drop down, and I get in position to claw swipe some exploding soccer balls that are coming towards us into this wall, getting ready to get the stamp that is behind the wall. I keep swiping to take out the Goomba stack that is coming towards us, and we get the stamp. We've got 2 green stars and a stamp so far. 1 green star remains. These platforms here are moving steadily, even though the earlier platforms weren't moving, so I'm careful to go across at a safe time so that we don't fall off. I go to this green star outline here that spawns the 8 green coins, and we are on our way to get the final green star, which is normally the first green star of the level, but is now the final green star of the level. We head on over to the very beginning of the level. We see that there is a Sprixie in a jar here. There is a flag here, a very large flag. It has the symbol of Bowser on it. We jump up, we climb up the pole, we get the 10,000 point pole grab, and we save the Sprixie. And since today is March 10th, it is Mario Day. I think it's called Mario Day because MAR10 kind of looks like it spells Mario if you take the capital MAR from March. So in celebration of Mario Day, I'm going to be streaming something interesting over at twitch.tv/ZXMany that you might enjoy. Now that we are at the beginning of this video, I can say that I hope that you enjoy this video. If you are interested in seeing more of what is possible in games through both regular gameplay and hacking, you're welcome to check out my other videos. You might find something that you enjoy. Wishing all of you a fantastic day, and take care, everybody.
Wah!